This episode is brought to you by Broadhead Decals. From door wraps and roof signs, window stickers and banners, let Broadhead Decals take care of all your vinyl needs with only quality products used.
Justin's graphic design abilities will get you everything you could ever want. With super fast shipping, their turnaround time is second to none. So let Broadhead Decals take you to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast, let's talk about it.
What's up, Nebraska?
Man, I can't say that I'm mad at them
Nope.
for what they did because they beat the system.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a little bit bullshit? It was a lot of bit bullshit.
Yeah. It was some... No, but I don't think anybody in their correct mind would have thought that somebody would have done what they did. But there was nothing in the rules that said you couldn't.
Okay, so here's how I'm going to compare my feelings on this. Like I said, we're going to talk about it.
Just if anybody doesn't know, we are talking about Border Wars 2024, Adele, Iowa,
Everybody
R&R,
that
Total
has-
Destruction Promotions.
Everybody that has Facebook knows what we're talking about. Or Snapchat. Or a fucking buddy's brother's sister's cousin's goldfish that watches Derby. And what they did to me is like being called out and not accepting the challenge. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's break it down.
Because anybody can say what the fuck they want. That game plan was established before they ever showed up to that place.
No, it wasn't.
You sure?
Positive. It was established right after the drivers' meeting. So, we've talked how the format works up there. 5 teams.
Not the greatest.
I'm sorry, 5 states. They do a live draw. The first heat, they draw 3 cars from each state. There's heat 1. They only take 3 cars. So you're talking 15 down to 3. The first heat, Nebraska came out. So did Minnesota and Missouri and Illinois and Iowa. Next thing you know, it was 4 states on 1. Bad. We're talking like Homeboy's distributor was under the dash bar. Second heat came out, and it was going to start the same way. 3 Nebraska cars broke off. I'm sorry, 2 broke off because Kenny Rosno did not.
No.
The only thing he broke off was a rev chip out the fucking window.
Yeah.
3, same way, they broke off. So, doing a little investigation PI work Saturday morning. The question was asked at the drivers' meeting. Doesn't matter what heat, let's just say we all go out and it ends up being 4 teams on 1. I was told that they were all told it's a team show. That shit's going to happen. Run your car, not your mouth.
And this was where the plan started coming together.
Right after the first heat is really when it really kind of took off. But the question was asked, how many cars are we going to take out of the Consi? They were told, this is hearsay as well, that whichever state had the most amount of teams in the Consi, or amount of drivers for that state, that's how many were going to be taken out of the Consi. So if Missouri had 5, Nebraska had 4, Minnesota had 6. Well, they were going to take 6 out of each Consi. Nebraska had 16. They split them. 2 Consis. 8 of Nebraska in Consi 1, 8 in Nebraska of Consi 2. They took 8. They ended up getting 11 through out of the 16. One of the Missouri guys made it through, Julian Suter. show wise, let's disregard all the drama bullshit. It was better than I've ever seen Border Wars. Show wise.
Well, it had to be because of what was there.
Bigger track. The track they told me was 280 by 240. It was a big bitch and it was sticky. It was a racetrack. So they did, perfect prep. They needled down a little bit, cultivated top 3-4 inches, watered, rolled it in. Watered, rolled it in. And you're talking fucking moving, boy.
I seen that just by the videos.
Yes. I told Rob Saturday, I said, we have no dog in this fight. Do I agree? No. Did they beat you at a game and a rule set? Yes. He said that. He said they got me.
Yeah.
He said I just didn't know anybody would try it. Well, they tried it.
Well, I don't know about you, but nothing fucking surprises me in this sport.
Nope. Not at all. You got bad. When you have bad dudes, and we're talking bad dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Jared Haney, Colton Newhoffen. That's just a couple. Jacob Prusman and some Ullmans. If anybody watched the video, number 12, I don't know his first name, but it's Oldham or Ullman, but it was 9,000 RPMs the entire time he was on the track.
That's what we like to see.
Oh, my God. It was wild as shit. And I told him, I said, you ain't right in the head. But competition sometimes, in my opinion, draws the best out of you, but it will draw the worst out of you as well. The part that I do not and could not tolerate if I was in their shoes, one of the drivers for Nebraska is 16. It's Will Steinbeck's nephew. They were wanting to fight him. After Schuster from Nebraska got hit in the face with a beer can on the way out by somebody in the stands. They were under the cars, all night Friday night, trying to change out transmissions and working on stuff, and everybody's coming by and calling them pussies and throwing beer cans at them. That shit shouldn't be tolerated. That should be that get out of jail free not card.
Well, regardless of what the circumstances are, you can't do that. For what we're trying to do for the sport and with the sport, you can't act like that.
No.
That's what gives us the bad name. Mm-hmm. That's what makes
we
demolition.
All go back to dumbass rednecks.
Yeah.
That just
100%.
want to drink beer and fight and shit all the time.
Right, because my advice to anybody that didn't like the way they did it would to be build a car and just start picking them off.
Yes. During this whole process of all this shit went down, like I said, the action was packed. Cody Hendren and Gary Robinson got through the first heat for Team Missouri. Junior Cardwell got through right out of the heats. Caden Eddy, Jarek, and Junior got through right out of the heats as well. Julian got through. Concy, Tyler Jones got through out of the heats. Jordan Faust was so close.
Landon.
Yes, Landon win was super close. Denny Weaver had some shit luck. Uriel had some shit luck. Eric Reed broke the fitting off his fuel cell.
Fuck.
2 minutes into it. It was just fluke deal. Don't know if that was a reason, but Some of them didn't fix to come back out. I can't put words in their mouth to say why.
I don't think everybody knows.
Yeah. So, but dude, the show was, fuck me, the show was killer. I mean, I just, the facilities were kick ass too. They could have used a little bit more pit room. Plenty of spectator parking, camper parking, buildings out the ass. I'm talking.
How was the seating?
My seats were fucking killer. Across from us was the main. It's big. So I'm gonna say the section that is at like Madison. It's that quadrupled. I don't know. I think it'll probably hold 2,500 people on one end or on one side. But yeah, people have been asking to tell me you're not going to talk about the drama shit. So
Well,
we did.
Everybody knew that was coming, and we'll talk more on results whenever we get a second, which just going to pick up. We've got more shit going on. PEX this weekend.
Pecatonicas this weekend, baby. That is right.
I don't know how many Snapchats I've got of
On the way.
On the
Peck
way.
bound.
Peck
I'm
bound.
flipping every one of them fuckers off.
Yeah, I was like, probably not gonna make that one either.
I'll watch it. I will watch it. Thank you, everybody. It is so kick-ass to walk around and see your hats and cups and, shit. Yeah, little dudes wearing a hat. They've asked mom, grandma, or whatever, hey, can I get their hat? So they'd come up and, yeah, we get you hooked
Did
up.
you do pretty good on merchandise?
Did very well on merchandise. Sold more than we've ever sold. Yes.
Damn.
So it's not just a Nebraska thing. Maybe it's a border wars thing. I'm not sure. But it's cool. I mean, to go up there and I haven't seen Jake Benners forever.
Right.
And just walking up, just bullshitting with the guys, Booger, just guys you don't see anymore all the time.
Well, while you were doing that, I was at the Madison Derby getting asked why I wasn't in Iowa.
Yeah. Yuck.
You want to touch on that shit show real quick before we get our guest on?
It looked fucking awesome.
It was fucking terrible.
I got a Snapchat of you trying to back in.
Oh yeah, what'd you think of that?
Oh my god. Yeah, it was yeehaw.
Danny and them did every fucking thing in their power.
Yes.
That was 100% on MABA.
Was there any skid steers there?
Yeah, none of them had buckets. One of them did.
One of them had buckets.
One of them had a bucket. And they had waited so long in the night before they tried to do anything with it that all that moisture was coming up, and you couldn't even get the fucking clay out of your bucket. Like
Oh my.
that 75 Kubota skid loader with a bucket on it. Sean Pfeiffer was in it. Like, he knows how to run a fucking skid loader. Nope. It wouldn't even push the shit. Joe Smith, who's been on equipment
All
forever,
his life.
had a bucket on for a little bit on a wheeled machine. Yeah. No. They started the compacts out there, the youth compacts, and like they couldn't fucking move. Mm-hmm. They were having to push them onto the track, if that tells you anything.
That's
Still
not what-
fucking mud falling off my
That's
truck.
not what the spectators paid to watch.
No. The track was kind of starting to come around at the end. Because that's what was pissing everybody off, is there was a bottom.
They just couldn't get to it.
By the time you were there, you were pushing so much mud with front tires and shit. I mean, it's not like these cars free roll great.
No.
I mean, I don't know how many cars I watched, big cars, pulling into the arena, sliding the front tires.
Yuck.
That was fucking terrible. And the cars were there to put on a show. I mean, like there was a hell of a group of cars there.
Correct. The cars that I saw that were there was going to get
I mean,
Stupid.
Kevin LaFoe was there in the hobo class doing a 5-speed shuffle in a fucking metric GM, so he was ready to turn all the way up. Chandler was there in a 2-door, and I don't know how his fucking motor stayed together because that dude never let off of it. Not reverse, first, whatever, on the fucking floor from the time it dropped until he had to stop because he ended up backing himself up on the concrete.
Well, my boy said it was the loudest derby he's ever been to
Well, yeah.
because they were all, on the wood.
The car to have at that show would have been some clapped out fucking 350 with stock gears and 700s. Mm-hmm. Something that didn't have enough power to spin the fucking tires.
Couldn't get you in trouble.
Uh-huh. Because everybody else was just out there making noise.
Maybe that's why maybe Austin Pfeiffer won that show with the
His car was
700s on
set
the
up
back.
fucking money.
700s on the back, probably 700s on the front. Pretty level
Yeah.
in a Lincoln.
Uh-huh.
Not a outrageously godly amount of horsepower.
Nope. And he kept his nose clean the whole feature. The whole fucking time.
Balake.
You knew how that was going to play
Just
out.
seeing, I know they're compacts, but just seeing who was there. Dakota Lopez, Tyler Pickens.
Dude, this shit was
Balake.
ready to turn all the way up, and they couldn't do it.
Yes.
Blake is a motherfucking driver. Mm-hmm. You cannot take that away from that dude. He knows how to wheel a car. I watched him. He made sure that he stayed out of the shitty parts of the track. He worked long end up against the announcer stand. Mm-hmm. At the end of it, his car was hot, but I watched him reach over there, and motherfucker never missed a beat.
Yep.
Never missed a beat. Everybody else was out there running. Not his.
Nope. They just don't fail.
It
But
don't.
there's that
Oh, yeah.
time spent.
And I stood over there with Alan because he was, well, everybody that was standing somewhere, that's where he stayed because if not, you didn't have your fucking shoes on anymore. My boots are still in the bed of the truck.
We didn't have that issue.
Well, there was people standing or in the bed of my truck sitting, and I made them take their fucking shoes off before they got in the bed of my truck. I was like, "You're not."
Oh my!
And then it was me, my cousin, his old lady, and Lish, and I was like, "Everybody, shoes off before you get in this motherfucker."
Oh my!
Oh, I beat on my poor fucking dually.
I heard it and I synced it. Shitty situation.
It is. They could have been prevented.
It could have been badass. It very well could. I mean, it could.
Well,
have
it
been
stopped
fucking
raining
good.
here at 9:00 in the morning. Like, you've put on derbies before. What would we have done in that situation?
Go blade that bitch.
Take it
right
the whole top off of it.
Mm-hmm. Start at about 3 inches. Go to another 3,
If you got to.
and then if it's bottom, you're good.
They
'Cause
never.
I can tell you on Thursday there was still 1.5 foot tall grass on there.
Well, there was still grass on the bits when they started it. All they did was look like they took the teeth of a bucket and back drug it.
Oh. Yeehaw. I tell you what, if they would ever use resources available to them.
Because that's what everybody was like, man, they just can't get no skid loaders up there. They could. Always did.
There's a dude that lives in that town, just north of town, that works for Bobcat of Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
You can at least rent them for a day.
I've had to.
Spend a little money. Get them there. Get your operators in a good piece of equipment and do work.
Did I ever put anybody in junk up here? Can't have a show without skid loaders.
Nope. Not at all.
And that new announcer, he tried.
I got some messages. Somebody call me gay. I'm not gonna put said person on blast, but they called me gay because I wasn't there announcing.
Well, they were gay because they were there. Because he tried. He really did. He just didn't know anybody. And I kept having to yell at him to play music while it took him 14 hours to get the cars off the fucking track. Madison, Missouri is the only place in the fucking world, and I mean this, that can drag 42 cars out for 6 fucking hours.
Yeah, I will probably agree.
And that is no hate towards Danny or Tyler, because I watched what they were doing. They were ready to go. Like, they were ready to, and same bullshit as normal. Pump the brakes.
You don't pump the brakes on a crowd.
Fuck no.
You don't pump the brakes on a show, not unless shit happens.
Well, you know, I go to these derbies to drink beer and be at a derby. Like, you know, like that's my main goal.
Not at a mud bog.
Well, here's where I'm at. I was at the point where I was like, would you, fuck, come on.
I didn't have that issue.
Yeah,
There's 2 telehandlers and 5 skid steers.
I dumped 2 cases of beer in a cooler, and there was 6 left the next day. If that tells you how long I was there.
Yeah.
Ooh, I did have to make a rocket flight back to the shop right before the derby started.
Why?
Dustin Kelsey showed up on 23s. I walked over there. I was like, Kelsey, that ain't going to work, buddy. He's like, do you have anything else? I was like, yeah, I do. Well, I get back, dishing was wrong. So we pulled the tires off his other car that was there, traded them around. So Huff ended up running my tires. Which fucking Huff run balls out.
Huff always runs balls out.
He pulled a Mad Dog out of there and was like a legit Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Like,
deserved.
But we had put 28s under the back of his fucking car. So he had enough clearance where he could go on down the track.
Yeah, he can get it. Let's kind of get off that shit show.
All right.
Want to give a shout out and congratulations to Mr. Caden Bean. Caden at Cornhusker Chaos got his first rollover up there. They run team vans, and he got his first win, plus a Mad Dog in a van. So shout out to Caden. Shout out to Team Missouri. Came down to Tyler Jones, Caden Eddy, Gary Robinson, Cody Hendren, Colton Newhofflin, and another guy from Minnesota. Cody got caught at the wrong place at the wrong time. You know that saying, break everything?
Oops.
Colton broke everything. Cradle. Block. Cody hands me a chunk of block. It was cool to watch actual states working together, and not just against Nebraska.
Right.
That was just that kind of pecking order. But other than just rubbing some paint or just kind of backing into each other, Minnesota and Missouri worked as a fucking well-oiled unit. Josh Turner's wagon, there's no way that it should have been not blowed completely apart the way Colton was hitting him with the fucking turnouts and the window net. 45 and somebody in the quarters. It moved. Don't get me wrong. It did move. But just that dude is just so on it. He is just a blast to fucking watch. And he got the Mad Dog out of it. He's getting some free door wraps and roof signs. I talked to him afterwards. I walked up to him, shook his hand, and said, "Sir, you are a bad motherfucker." He started laughing, and I congratulated him. Got him in touch with Justin to get him his stuff. Even like the youth. Dude, the youth kids, there was 22 of them. Both ends of the spectrum. This little dude, I swear he got out and he was a mini-me of his dad. Same jeans, boots, welding shirt, helmet, and I bet you that little, I think he was 8 or 9 maybe. Remy would have dwarfed him. You know.
Right.
Mr. Daxton Blake, the son of Team Octane, Jeremy Blake. First Derby ever. Won it.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
And those, I didn't get the results. So the kid who runs second, I think his last name might have been Casey. He was like a metric caddy, and they wheeled it just like the kids did at Spring X. You know, when it got down to the last two at Spring X, these kids were doing the same thing. I mean, they would die. They'd get it fired back up, trying maneuvers just to get them, you know. Somebody thought, hey, I can get the last hit in, and they haul ass. Well, they just, and then fire up, and then they go and make hits. Mr. Blake got door wraps and roof signs as well. I talked to Jeremy. This is what these kids are coming into. These kids are coming into Fords, pretty plentiful. A lot of metric GMs, you know, caddies and whatever. With good motors, I mean, good transmissions, good rear ends. I mean, these kids are stepping in to something that hopefully they love. Hopefully they all stay with it. I mean, I just don't know how, watching these young kids progress, how wide open their future is in this sport.
I love it.
Your compacts. I even said it. Your compacts.
Yeah.
Put on a 2-man team show. One shot go, as Rob would call it, and I'm talking fucking wild from start to finish. You didn't have a bunch of that lint mode shit. They were getting it the fuck on. 2-man stock. You got Dookie and Shea Bob, and guess what? They had guys going after him, and they were going right back at him.
You know, talking about that whole the feature deal and how all that played out, I think everybody was looking at the big picture of what Nebraska did. You know, shitty. Well, in my opinion, I don't know how good of a call it was, you know, even after everybody was talking about it. Because, you know, as soon as you pull a fucking stunt like that, you know, the target, like you already had a target.
Yeah, they not only had a target once, they had a target twice.
Right.
Because after they did it, they go to the consi, do that shit, then they take 11 to the feature, and I think only maybe 9 came out because catastrophic. Right. But it was 17 on their 9.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess they figured they would want to take their chance that way. I don't know. But like Will said, he goes, you know what? If you want to pay me for what I have in my car, for my time and my equipment, I'll drive that fucker however you want me to drive it. He said, you want me junk in 30 seconds? I'll junk in 30 seconds. But Dr. Steinbeck told me, he said, my deal is, it's my shit. I'm going to junk it the way I want to junk it.
Well, that's understandable until you did what you did, and then everybody else is going to junk it for you.
Correct. Which in the feature he didn't. He junked it himself.
Right.
He went in reverse. Like Larry Steinbeck's stuff was pretty fucking hurt after the consi. Will's, it wiggled, it moved, it did some shit. Nothing crazy. But he went in reverse until he couldn't go in reverse no more, and then he went fucking forward. And it bent. It bent.
But I mean, they had a fucking target on their back. I mean,
yes.
So it's 6 and 1, half a dozen the other. You know.
Made for a really good feature though because it was hard hitting from.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh my god.
Well, because they knew what was going to happen. I mean, I guess their strength in numbers. At least they did make it to the feature that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you've got everybody as mad as they had everybody, you're setting.
Yeah. During our conversation and during our live there on Saturday, Will really thinks, and I don't disagree with him. He actually when Nebraska did what they did, they actually made the heats better. For the simple fact that
It wasn't just an all-out gangbang off the rip.
they didn't want to go to the Conci.
Right.
They run the fuck out of their shit to try to get through the feature to it without bypassing that Conci. And you had some guys that were fucking junk.
I'm ready to get our guest on because I just got one question.
Just one.
That's
Just
it.
going to ask him one.
One.
Okay, let's get him on. We'll be right back.
Triple B's Tees offer custom shirts and logo designs for all your apparel and merchandise needs, offering a variety of shirts, hats, hoodies, tumblers, and koozies. Triple B's will work with you one-on-one to personalize and perfect your logo. With over 5 years in the business, 20 years in the sport, they live for Demolition Derby.
Chunk and his crew can bring your imagination to realization with zero limitations. So for all your badass tees, choose Triple B's. Just say we get him on the phone.
There he is,
R&R.
Mr.
Total
Rob Baker.
Destruction. Border Wars 2024. Mr. Rob, have you got recuperated, sir?
Well, I got a voice now. A little bit. A little bit. I'm still trying to figure out how many hours of sleep I got to make up for. Trying to figure that out yet, too.
Probably a couple weeks.
Yeah, it was a lot, but look forward for it to get here. And not gonna lie, I'm glad it's done and in the books. And now we move on to 2025 for that show. And we got all of our county fair events coming up here in July. I mean, we got 24 county fair events yet this summer to do, and there's some bigger ones there of that statue as well. I mean, but Border Wars, man, a lot of hype going into it. I was kind of skeptical what we'd end up with for a show, and I couldn't ask for a better show. The people came, they drove their butts off, they worked their butts off to get their cars put back together to go back out and do it again. It was phenomenal. I mean, the track. I know the track. I have personal experience on this track in Adel. It's one of the best in the state of Iowa. If it's not the best track in the state of Iowa, in my book. And some guys figured that out after heats that, whoa, this track gets some fight and you can go. Yeah. You're not digging holes. You're not getting stuck. You're not getting, I think we had a couple times the car got on a barrier, but that was about it.
I know there was a bunch of junk made out there.
There was a lot of dollar signs going bye-bye really fast. We figured there had to be $3.5 million worth of vehicles on the ground, and $3 million of it probably got wrecked, completely wrecked.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, it was.
But that's what you want.
It was awesome. Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, everybody dreams of, hey, let's go out there and wreck everything. But at the same rate, someone has to win this show. Someone has to have a car left over to win.
Yeah.
So you just don't know how things will go. Sometimes the heats are. I mean, we dropped the green flag on heat 1. It's like someone flipped the switch right off the bat, and they were all going 90 mile an hour from end to end.
Yes.
I'm like, holy cow, this is going to be crazy.
Yes.
And there's a couple of heats that might have watched the first 3 heats and decided, hey, we might not need to go that fast. We're running out of cars fast. But it was awesome. I mean, man, people kept asking us about these different state teams and stuff like that. And well, I don't know these people. I don't know. Team Illinois. Some people kept asking me, who's that? I know half them guys or more personally. I've known them for a long, long time between either running my county fairs or like Brad Bielema. I met him. He was stationed in Omaha in the military, and he used to come to Western Iowa, and I as a driver, and met me there as a driver. And then in turn, Jake Bittner and Levi and them guys, they bought cars from me. I mean, that's how I got connections from them, was just buying cars. And, I had met Levi, a couple years ago later after buying cars. I actually loaded him at a derby I was helping at. Him and I butted heads, but he said, you know what? You stuck to your guns, we're going to come play. So it was great to see Team Illinois bring what they did. It was just 90 Border War cars on there. I mean,
Yes.
233 cars we ended up wrecking over the weekend, total. And I have to say, it's probably the first and only time. I've had two things happen with mods I never thought would happen. Last year, Border War, put a pink X on a mod, which I never thought I'd ever do that in my life. And then this year at Border War, after the mods were done, they said, man, we wish we had more water on the track. I never would have thought I heard a mod complaining about water on the track. But I didn't get to see the mods. I heard the mods run. You could not miss them thuds and those bangs and them wound up motors in the mods. I can't wait to go back and watch it on pay-per-view, the Derby Nation TV, just to see what I missed, and get to enjoy the show itself now.
Yeah.
Instead of being the guy running around with my head cut off all day long, well, actually 3 days long, and you just get that taken care of. You miss so much as an official. People say you got the best stage in the world. I might, but not from the view you think we have.
Mm-hmm.
We have an area we have to watch. We don't get to watch the whole show. We're in a section we have to control. We don't get to watch the whole track. There's stuff we just miss. I mean,
Well, I'm going to say this,
But-
Rob. I got to go to Border Wars in Stanton, Nebraska last year with you guys, and then I was there this weekend at Adele. I'm glad you switched. One reason being the track. That track was fucking phenomenal. You couldn't ask for a better track as a driver or a spectator, in my opinion. And then I think you put just enough batshit crazy drivers on those teams that just made it so unreal to watch.
yeah, it was. And like I said, I have personal experience. I grew up I'm 30 miles from Adele. I grew up, my family and I, running the county fairs. I have derbied, won, and got my butt whooped a lot up there too on that track. So I knew the track facility could handle it. I like the atmosphere. You kind of feel like you're in a stadium type of environment, but you aren't. But just the way everything's lit up, the way the crowd is up on top of you, it's a raised grandstand, so you're up top. Our tower, you were up top with us. Mm-hmm. You could not ask for a better view from there. You can judge everything real easy. I can't wait to see Derby Nation's pay-per-view because they had to catch every action going on from the view they had there on that track.
Yes.
We have to work on some pitting. There's some other issues, some pitting. We had 3 acres that was supposed to be available to us, and then come to find out in February that acreage got bought by an investor, and they started developing it. So it's kind of out. But we made do. We were able to move stuff around and do that. I've got to work on some fencing issues. The Derby was great, but some of the folks were not very respectful that came to the Derby. And most of that is not Derby drivers. I would say 99% of the issue was not Derby drivers. It was associations or people coming to get in and look at cars. They would tear down our fence, push over our gate panels. It was terrible.
Wow.
I don't know. Some of these people got mad. I literally had a telehandler at the passenger side of sliding the forks underneath that Suburban, said you got 5 seconds to get in this car and get it out. I've asked you 3 times to get it out of here, and have not done it. So there's some of that kind of have to be addressed, and that has to do with the show itself. It just sometimes people need to think about things a little bit more clearly.
Well, that's not the type of reputation we're working towards for Demolition Derby. That's what we're trying to get away from. We don't want to be the stupid rednecks of the motorsport world anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And this Dallas County Fair Association, the ADL up there, they have had derbies in the past. I've had a promoter in do a little bit of derby, and he did a good job. Just wasn't able to pull the car count, so they always had a small car count. And then the last show, they had another fair that said they could do a derby, and they tried it, and it was a complete flop. So I was kind of worried about coming to this facility of what the crowd would think, because the last thing they saw was a 10-car derby with 5 classes listed. And come Thursday, with all 90 border war cars driving through the middle of town, and that's kind of why we stayed it up so people could see. We had people calling, asking us, what time the event started. I even had somebody call me at 3 o'clock on Sunday when I'm putting the track blocks back, what time we started Sunday night. I said, we are done. I am not doing no more. We're done.
You got to wait till next year.
Yeah. So, but I want to give props out to everybody in that pit area, every driver, every pit man, everyone in our pit areas. I want to thank them personally, because Sunday we woke up and there was not trash anywhere. It was all in trash cans or next to a trash can. Every piece of metal, every piece of trash, everything. I want to shout out to everyone that came. We as a crew greatly appreciate that. That shows us that the people who are enjoying our shows and our sport are respective. They are trying to help. They realize how much stuff is involved with this. A lot of folks don't know this. They think we're done. No, we built the track. We have to put the track back. We have to pick up all the trash cans, put bleachers back. You got to put everything. But, every pit area, inside the pit area, all the overflow folks that were out in the overflow park and stuff like that, they did one hell of a job. And I cannot name every one of them, so it's easier to say, I want to thank you guys for doing that. That was awesome to see. And even the fairgrounds, they were just amazed. They thought there would be stuff everywhere. And they're like, wow. I'm kind of amazed a little bit too. This is awesome.
Yes.
This is really awesome. Showing the courtesy for the people that came. They showed courtesy to us. And I really appreciate that.
Well, the show itself, you had Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Nebraska, and Missouri. Missouri was lucky enough to get it pulled out. But, sitting there and getting to watch it, when you got Colton Newhofflin just laying shots from one into the other, the Oldman kid that's turning 9 million RPMs.
Yeah, Jared. Yeah, him and his daddy. I gave his dad, Randy, kind of some crap about that. I said, dude, you're in the wrong car. He goes, yeah, I figured that out. He has a Cadillac now. And then get to watch Bryce and Randy Lanou against Jarek and Junior Eddie, in the heat. Other than some stupid shit that happened, which we're not going to hit on. Some gameplay that got changed during the show. Basically, is how I word it. Some gameplay got changed. It started to give us a little bit of negativity, but it is what it is. Everybody knows what happened.
Just a rule revisit next year. That's all. That'll fix that.
Yeah, we got some changes coming in. We've already discussed, and to be honest, people can bash whatever happened, but there's nothing that those people had done that was against our event.
Correct.
Did we agree with it? No, but it's not anything that's against our event. It's a gameplay, a game change. You got to respect it. Their job is to get their team in the feature and to win this derby. And that was their job. And they felt that was the best way of going. Now, if you want to judge it on the one time, the one heat, be honest, you might want to think about it. I'm not that person that had to keep wrecking my cars, but as a team aspect, they had a good idea.
Except for the huge target they had on their back after that.
What's that?
I said, except for the huge target they put on themselves after they did that.
Yeah. But you know what? If it was all said and done, we started that feature and 2 walls showed up. And I thought, well, how long is this going to take? It didn't take very long.
It didn't.
Made a very good feature.
Yes.
Nothing against any of the other border war drivers in the past. I feel that this show overall was probably my best border war show overall so far. Again, nothing against anyone else that's drove in the past or any feature drivers in the past. Overall, I thought this was a really good event. But it seems like we keep getting a little better each time. Even our filler classes. I mean, we tried compact limited weld. We haven't really run them too much. We tried that. That was a darn good show. Minivans, they put on a good show. You know, people in the grandstand are like, holy cow, I got one of them. Yeah, we're wrecking them. You know, and my personal favorite is the youth class. This is our first, and I think we're doing a bone stock. We do have a champion that we're going to send, if they'd like to go out to nationals. They qualified. But that youth class, you know, we had 24 entered and 20 showed. 2, unfortunately, were able to make it. I got a message on Thursday they were not make it due to a death in the family. But we had 20 youth kids, and I mean there was 8 to 15-year-olds, and I think most of them are around 8 to 12. There's a few little older ones. But to see people's face expression when you see this 9-year-old girl climb out, or an 8-year-old girl climb out, they're like, that was the driver. Yeah, you couldn't tell it the way they were hitting. You know, I mean, some of the kids, when they got on the gas, you're like, yeah, that's Dad's motor. You know, Dad put his motor in there. It's loud and it's proud, you know. But the cool part was them kids didn't scream, didn't holler. They laughed and said, oh, man, did you see what you did in my car? You know, a good hit over there, you know. That's what we need to continue in our sport.
Yes.
Not this screaming, not this hollering, and definitely not a driver jumping out of one state's car into another state's car in front of me. That is not cool.
Correct.
You don't do that. So I am always about respect.
Well,
If you don't like something, don't come or take care of it somewhere else. Don't do it in front of this whole crowd because we're sending a message that is not nice. I mean, you can't act like that.
Yeah.
Society needs to learn that.
well, after that youth show, I went up to Daxton, and then I realized who his dad was once I saw him. And Jeremy caught me, and he said, check this out. And it had nosed so hard that the passenger side window bar went through the passenger side valve cover of a Collier. And he kind of saw it, and I guess Daxton said something about it. He said, you don't shut this thing off until you cannot start it no more. He says, Jeff can fix it. So these dads and these adults that are, you know, supporting their kid doing this sport, it's just unreal because we all know what a price of a Jeff Collier motor is.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so he was ready to completely melt it down for his kid to win that show.
Yeah. Well, and to be quite honest, we all spend money. We can find dumber things to blow money on, but we know when we buy whatever it is for parts in our cars, there's a very good chance that money is gone. You're never going to get it back. I mean, it's gone. We can spend it, but it could be really gone in one show. We just don't know. I mean, as I tell people that I've seen people shut the motor and stuff down. Me personally, I don't. If it'll start, I keep running. I build it for a reason that I'm going to use it.
Yep.
But that's it. Everyone's personal opinion on what they want to do with it. But for that youth class, that's something that we're going to continue on. We're having more shows this summer with them in the A's and Newer Bone Stock. And then 2025, we're going to have a youth championship at Border War. We're still trying to get qualifiers set up for it, but we may just leave it as a regular championship. It'll be a one-shot go. Everyone that ran this year, including the 2 that couldn't make it, that had a death, there will get an invitation to come. And then we're going to hold a drawing or open it up that, hey, we'll take this many more youth, still a one-shot go, and we're going to give them a turnkey car, complete derby car. Every bell and whistle in it, fully built, take it home, go wreck it. Or, better yet, get home, come back, and wreck it at one of my shows.
Yes.
So that's going to be our prize. And people are like, what's the payout? It's a winning car. Well, just a car? No. A fully built car. Tanks, battery box, skid loader tires, welded centers, 355 flat top, a brand new GHE with Derek Eddy's transmission underneath of it, brand new sliders, standstill tank, battery box, shifters, everything. Built fully. And if anybody wants to give me crap, they can. I'm going to build the car. And yes, it will pass my tech.
You sure with Matt and Jesse checking it?
Yeah, they don't know nothing about new styles. What are you talking about?
Well,
So, no, it is. That's my way of giving back. You can give money all you want, and the money's gone. But if I can give a full setup to a kid that's just starting out going, that's a benefit to help our sport.
Yes. Now, couple of guys. You did say there's going to be some changes for 2025. Usually hasn't in the past. As long as you ran Border Wars, you kind of get your spot locked back in for the next year. That's changing a little bit as well, possibly, correct?
Yes. So now the only ones that are eligible for a spot to come back are the ones that qualify for the feature. Even if they didn't make it out for the feature, like for instance, there was Jerry Petty. He qualified for the feature, working on his car, came over to me mid-afternoon on Saturday and said, I'm not making it. The back of his block was broke.
Yep.
And then Junior Eddie, another one. He was actually driving 2 impound and blew it up.
Yeah.
So he's like, yep, I'm done. But because they had won the heat, and it could be a heat or a Conti, it's just as long as they qualify for the feature, you're guaranteed to have your spot back, but you have a deadline to do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have them nominate. So if anyone from that, whatever, Illinois, whatever, says they don't want to come back, we're setting it up to where you can nominate to run with. So drivers, if you're listening, some of the numbers don't work out. We told them that you could pick 2, depending on how many from each state qualified in the feature. So some of those feature cars, like Missouri had 7. Well, if they pick 2 to run with them, that is too many cars.
That's 21.
So you have to do numbers. So they get to pick their own team now, as in the team of 3 to run the heat with.
Okay.
So now they get to form their own team of 3 to run a heat together as a team. So we'll be not drawing. We'll be doing live draw still, but as a team of 3, not 3 individual drivers separately drawing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then we're going to take care of another issue. We're going to go, because this is a singles event with a team twist. The Contis will not be drawn per state, so many per state. Every driver that signs up will put in one bucket, and I'll do like we used to do. We'll draw for Conti 1, Conti 2, Conti 3, however many constellations we have. I will advertise exactly how many cars we're taking from each Conti before we even open up for registration, so everybody knows that, okay, they're only taking 4 cars out of the Conti. If we have 10 Illinois cars get drawn for the Conti, or 10 Iowa guys, whatever, gets down to you. Only 4 is going on. It's still a singles event. It just has a team twist to it.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that's going to take people, when they pull on that track, might want to try a little harder to get through a heat instead of Conti.
Yep. I like that change.
It kind of sucks, but the only way we can address the elephant in the room is to go back to old school, and that's basically drawing for your Conti. I mean, we've been nice. We've been taking the numbers and waiting to see what states got what and divide them up equally to give people a chance to get more cars in. But when it's lopsided so much, it's like, okay, we got to stop this from happening, because the next time I have 5 of the 6 states break off, then what do we do? So we'll just address it and do it just a regular derby like normal, just like everyone else does. But keep it as a team twist with it. I think the team thing's awesome.
Yes.
We've discussed with drivers. We're going to see about this bonus. We may not have a bonus as much to the drivers and put more into the feature that way, but I still want to keep the team bonus. I think we're going to try and keep that going.
Yeah.
Just might not be $1,000, $2,000. People want me to pay $2,000 for team bonus. Well,
Shoo.
you also want 20 grand to win derby. I'm like, come on, guys. You gotta think about this a little bit. Let's do numbers here. How many drivers do you have to have? What would the entry fee have to be? Let's be realistic on some of this. I know our sport is expensive, and I'm not like these other guys that pop up $100,000 to win 2 of them at one show classes, and another one's whatever, $50,000, $20,000. This is out of my personal pocket. People that understand myself and my wife and my family, we put the funds up for the whole event. Everyone that works for us is paid. Everything is paid out of our personal pocket. This is not Rob Baker and industry with whatever. I don't want to cause a feud with other people, but there's other promoters that are kind of making drivers pay for their show. I'm not that person. You're going to pay an entry fee, you're going to pay Pit Pass, going to grandstand tickets, that type of stuff. I'm not making memberships. I'm not doing all this stuff. This is my personal venue, my personal event.
Yeah.
My crew helps greatly, but every one of them are paid. Some days I don't think they're paid enough for what we go through, but they're through thick and thin. Have been by my side. That's why we have lots of 25 years. So many people have popped up and gone. We're still here. I guess that's the only fame I can say I am. Either that or I'm just dumb and stupid enough to quit. So, but this Border War show, man, it just keeps getting better. I mean, I just keep thinking, how can we top next year? Already. I'm like, how do I top that? I don't know. It's a group of people that decide to come run that top it. The people that come and run the show and support the show, put on the show, that's who tops that. And it's just wild, when are we going to run out of GM wagons? That's what I keep thinking of.
Yeah.
Because Cadillacs are starting to take place of wagons. But we all know that back in the day, we all called them ground scrapers. We never ran Cadillacs. We junked them.
Yeah.
But again, how many of them are around? I don't know where they keep coming from. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But the Sioux South stuff, though, was a lot of fun. What was your favorite show up there when you were there watching?
The Border Wars.
Friday night.
Yeah,
Friday night was awesome.
Yeah, the Border Wars class. Every heat. I mean, they both consies. The main. I mean, it was just. If somebody was sitting down, it's really hard to figure out how. When you've got,
That's why I love
4 in a rows and turnouts and window nets and
Yuck.
650, 700 horse hitting people at 40, 50 mile an hour. I mean, how can you not enjoy that? Gary,
You'd be amazed how many people in the crowd were there that have never seen a demolition derby. I spent most of my night on Friday night explaining what these guys are doing.
That's what you need, though. That's the base we need to tap into.
fresh blood.
Yeah. And there's not been. I mean, Central Iowa. There's nothing. There's nothing like this in Central Iowa. I mean, there is another show in Central Iowa that's a bigger show, but this is a totally different thing. That show is more of a local show. This is more of my show. I consider more of a national show because of the Border War system. And even the Fair Board was just overwhelmed, and I mean, they came to us and like, we're impressed. Holy cow!
Yeah.
And the sad part, that was Thursday night when we shut the building at 1:30 in the morning with all 90 border cars inside. They're like, we're impressed. I said, we're not even halfway there. They're like, what do you mean? I said, this is not half the cars. They're still coming. I'm like, no, good. And I'm like, yeah, there's 70 tomorrow coming, 70 more on Saturday coming. Oh my goodness. I said, yeah. So, but the really neat part was some of my messages I got. I just now today got on social media. I had to been picking up and putting everything away they dealt. So today I decided to look at some of the social media blasts and see what's going on. I had so many people from town of Adel reach out to our R&R page, thanking us for bringing the event in. One lady just fully loved it. They brought so much money into town. The only thing she had negative was to please let her know ahead of time so she can staff her restaurant properly if she was not staffed for it. So that's pretty cool that you get recognition from people like that. They're like, hey, man, that was awesome. I'm glad you brought this influx of money into our town. And that's some stuff that we try and do too. I mean, we gave breweries and winery lists out to people, and people would ask about parts stores. We had, we told the parts store what kind of things we needed. There's, a 15-minute drive. There's, 10 parts stores. So, the venue and location is really good. Plus, you got so much stuff to do in West Des Moines. There's a big cinema. I had my mouth about go-karts. And I guess a bunch of them went racing Friday morning, got kicked off for go-karts.
Oh,
And
God.
I said, well, go figure, derby guys, and get kicked off at race go-karts, sure.
Well, you need to make sure that red Mexican truck is there again next year because that was awesome.
Yes, that lady, I've had her food before. She's kind of skeptical. I said, you come with your food, I'd be there. And she actually called on Thursday and said, hey, they're supposed to be in there early in the morning. She's running behind, but she pulled in with an hour. She had, 50 people in line. She was serving food after she got set up. and everybody's bragging. I mean, the other truck was pretty good too. They just were not staffed yet. They weren't prepared for a show like this. They're a local food truck, but I got a burrito from her, that Mexican food truck, and they handed it to me, and I'm like, there's no way I'm eating this thing. All of it.
You can
This
lift
thing's
weights with
huge.
it. Yeah,
So,
you
but,
can
yeah.
you can like CrossFit with that bastard.
Yeah, so we you know, you never know with drivers. I try to get, simple things like that, the food in the back. You try and get a variety of food, but you just never know what people are going to like. And I was kind of worried. Some people don't like Mexican food. So we had more of a American type food on the other side. I consider the burgers and the grinders and things like that.
Yeah.
But everybody praised that Mexican burrito truck. And I'm like, yeah, it's good. The nachos, everything is delicious there.
Yes.
And they had a great system to get food out to people. So I think we'll probably stick with the same setup. Just got to work out some fencing issues for Adel. Their fencing's 40 or whatever years old, and I said people were just really easy to push it over, smash it down, come on through. Well, we'll have to address that next time for pitting. But I really think it went off really well. I mean, everybody knows me from back in the day, Adel. I'm known as Rain Man. Well, it was fitting that Friday night it decided it wanted to rain a little bit on us.
Yep.
Which didn't hurt my feelings in a bit because it was just a little bit of rain. It made it feel pleasant. It actually helped the track out a little bit. But I was giggled. Everybody's like, well, it's raining. I said, yeah, because I'm in Adel. That's why it's raining. So,
Well, I do know you got a 3-year contract with Adel, so we will.
Yep.
I will for sure, as long as I'm not crippled or dead. I will be back at Border Wars 25.
I'm trying to make a career change.
He's tired of me
Well,
going to
it's
all these shows and him having to stay home.
it's always the weekend after Memorial Weekend, too. It's always that weekend after Memorial Weekend. So people have already been asking the date. I said, I don't know the date off the top of my head, but it's always the weekend after Memorial Weekend. It seems to be a good weekend for us. It works out really well. I try to be pleasant to the other events that are going on in the Midwest, too, that we're not on top of each other. And that weekend works out really well for us. Secondly is, to be honest, I picked it because everybody gets 3 days off before my show. That
Yep.
means they get to get their shit done and get packed and get to my show.
Yep.
So I have three days off to get that done ahead of time. Because I know how everybody is at the last minute. Oh man, it's a month out. I better get going.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys coming up. I hope you really enjoyed the show. Like I said, I'm ready to kick back this weekend and pull the pay-per-view and actually watch the show. I've never had Derby Nations before. Steven and guys were great to work with. I haven't, to be honest, I've never even watched a pay-per-view event yet in my whole Derby career. Because when I'm done derbying with my summers, I'm in a boat stand, or most people give me crap in the spring. I'm on a fishing boat with my kid.
Yep.
It's our time to get away from it, but I need to sit down. I want to watch our show to see what I missed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff as officials you just don't get to see, and I get to laugh at people and go, "Ooh, that one hurt." I'll be like the crowd now. So, if you haven't seen it, Derby Nation TV. I know that I think they got. I don't remember all the logistics, but I think you can still get a discount now and get to watch it a little bit longer. But Steve, he did a great job out there. And guys, with the robotic cameras and the guy on the track, I mean, just see the footage. It could be damn good footage.
It is. So, well, Mr. Rob, we're going to let you get back to your relaxing and get your pay-per-view in. We appreciate you letting us come up, do our thing, and letting us cover this badass show. And like I said, we'll be back in 2025, hopefully even bigger and better with you, sir.
Yeah, check out my website, rnrpromotions.com. You guys do the podcast. There's another show in August, the big one in Springfield, Nebraska. You might be interested in 10 grand to win, 2-man bone stock, 20 team limit. That's gonna be wild. Some of these drivers you saw aboard are in that show
Sweet.
with bone stock.
Okay.
So you can imagine bone stock running as hard as border war. That'll be fun.
Yes, sir. We will. We'll get online and I'll check all that stuff out and see if we can work that in with
Appreciate
some
it.
logistics, buddy.
Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen.
Yep,
Thanks,
have a
Rob.
good one, man.
Look forward to seeing you somewhere down the road.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
I see it.
Uh-huh,
Yep,
bye.
bye-bye.
Well,
He. without getting too crazy into it, I mean, he said they beat the system.
Yep. And rules will be revisited. That's all I wanted to ask him. I was like, what's the game plan?
Yep.
He told you.
Yep.
Platform change.
Yes.
He's just, and not really a change. He's just going back to the way he was doing it.
Yes. But he just kind of told you, so if you've got 5 guys to make the main, you get to bring 2 new guys with you if you want to. And then there you're going to be your heat partners. Cade Nitty and I had talked, and we talked last year at Macon when we started talking about hand-picked Border War shows.
Right.
Who runs at Border Wars? I'm not dissing any of them for the state of Missouri. There's some bad dudes. We got a lot of other bad dudes in this state as well that have never ran it.
Right.
Mr. Hard Knocks himself,
Right.
Mason Larson, Gage Sumner, Allen, Cody, Dalen.
Justin Warzik.
Yes.
I mean, that dude can build a fucking car and wheel a car.
Justin Meyer.
Yeah.
There's dudes that can just, woo, buddy.
Well, and the more they keep doing with this Border Wars deal, and you're seeing that, they're starting to load these teams.
Yes.
They're starting to load them where you've got 30% heavy hitters, and then you've got your strategical drivers.
And then you've got that 10% of both.
Yes. And that's where you were seeing, like, Gary Robertson out there. He used all of his car.
There's no fucking way, and I told him, I said, there's no way that you saw out of the back of that bitch.
Nope.
Not a clue, and he just started laughing. Because if you get back, and if you weren't there or hadn't watched any of the footage yet, he's looking out of the driver's window a lot.
Yeah, he needs to put a mirror on that bitch.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Backup camera.
That would have got all fucked up. Just throwing that out there.
But no, I know where you're going with that, and as this show builds, like what it's doing now, because there's still people that I'm not seeing the negativity being pushed towards Rob, necessarily. I haven't seen a bunch of that. I haven't seen the whole Rob Baker, he's a cocksucker because this happened. I mean, because all bullshit aside, I mean, everybody realizes what happened. Like,
Yep.
And if you don't, you're a fucking idiot. Because what happened was these dudes did not want to take that ass whooping in the heat like they knew they were going to. And I'm not saying that they weren't capable of maybe coming out of it, but it was going to be junk. Because there was a line drawn in the sand before the show even started.
Oh, yeah.
So what they did was made the best out of a bad situation. Do I agree with the way they did it? No, not really. Do I see why they did it? Fuck yes.
Yes, big time.
So that's all I'm really going to say on the whole situation. I get it.
Yeah. But guess what?
Derby drivers have the shortest memories of anybody in the motorsports world. All it'll take is 2 fuck-ups, and what was Border Wars?
Correct. We got Midwest Massacre this weekend.
Peck a motherfucking Tonica.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, We Crash TV.
I wish I was there. Because I don't know about you, but the ridiculous amount of old iron that I seen headed that direction.
Yes.
Holy fuck around.
I think it's $50. We Crash TV. That is the Ultimate Derby.
Platform.
Whatever you call it. It's going to be a show. It's going to be a show.
Fucking A.
And then when you have Derby icons doing a filler class there as well with any of the leftovers from the 2-man stock show at Spring X, and I think River City cars as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure on all that. I did see Taylor. Yeah, I seen his post that he made and his little video that he threw out there.
Running for 3 Gs to win.
Well, honestly, you think about that. That was a power move on both ends.
Why not get some more cars?
Fucking A. And you're giving the drivers an opportunity to get rid of that fucking car that they drove from wherever to run.
Yeah. We will have a guest next week. You don't even know that part yet. We will have another
See,
one.
I'm not the only motherfucker that doesn't get informed right off the bat.
I just sent a text today. How's that?
He must not have been able to find my phone. He must not have been able to find my phone number whenever he was sending these texts out.
P Hill is this weekend as well.
Yes, and I haven't. I have no clue.
Southern number 9.
Yep. When is it?
This Saturday.
Yeah.
June 8th. My kid is riding with Austin Spada.
Oh fuck.
So we will have some more shit to talk about. Because the weekend after, OHIO bound.
Yep.
So
I'm ready for that, and I already told him at work to eat the fattest dig. I said I will not be there the 11th, the 14th, and possibly Monday.
14th and the 17th, those are my days off. So thank you everybody who got hats.
Oh, hold on. Before you jump into that, congrats to Jerry Lyerly.
He get a dub.
He did.
He got a dub with Carrollton.
Yes, sir.
Cody Brown as well.
Yes, sir.
Cody said he said the trophy was taller than him.
So it was a 3-foot trophy?
I didn't comment because somebody said it way faster than I thought about it.
He knew he walked into that.
Yes,
one.
he did. He did.
Okay, go ahead with what you're doing. I just
But
wanted to throw a little congrats out
thanks,
to our homies across the river.
I didn't have any stickers other than just a few I had. Justin sent them. They were supposed to be there Thursday. They got delivered Saturday, and he was pissed. Zach Anderson's boy, Gabe, was the only one that had a sticker. One sticker. That's but thanks for the hat purchases.
So you're telling me there wasn't one sticker on a fucking Missouri car?
Nope.
So I can't even claim that one?
Nope.
Motherfucker, you could have at
No,
least put the
not
little
those
ones on
stickers.
them.
So we're going to talk about this off air. But thank you to all the hat purchases, all the cup purchases. You sold us out of 40 ounce. You sold us out of 4-in-1s. We had just a few of the 20 ounce skinnies left. Roughly half the hats were sold. But we will have hats at P Hill, baby. So the guys that I know have spoken for it, we will have those there. I will not just bring 8. I will bring the rest of them.
I'm starting to see them walking around now.
Yep.
I'm starting to catch them.
Yep. So
I seen an old boy the other day in the tech line that needs another one. Fuck, his is dirtier than shit. They ain't even been out that long.
they haven't. So thank you guys for the support in Iowa instead of Nebraska this year.
If y'all keep buying stuff, we get to go more cool places. That's how it works. We appreciate it. Like,
Yeah.
the more you buy, the more we can talk shit about stuff you want to hear about.
So thanks, Rob, for getting on, clarifying a little bit of a few things without clarifying a little bit of a few things.
Well, we didn't need him
No.
causing another shit.
Well,
story. I mean,
he don't want to live the episode again, and I don't blame him.
not this quick. It's like that Band-Aid's still fresh as fuck.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to rip that fucker off. So
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the fuck out of everything that you all do for us. We can't do what we do without you all. And that's all I got to fucking say about it.
that was your fucking last words? Make junk, boys.